Stop recording. Okay, well, why don't we get going, and welcome to all of you this evening for the second night of Connections Day week, where we provide a lot of opportunities for you to see the many facets of Salve Regina University as you're trying to make your decisions on where to attend college in the fall. First of all, I want to say congratulations to everyone on your admission to Salve. This being a strange year, there's a lot of students that I haven't had a chance to meet in person, which is disappointing for us, but I know that I'll at least hopefully have a chance to meet many of you in September when you come to the university. Some of you here tonight have decided on Salve already. You've paid your deposit and you just want to know more about the Leadership Scholars Program. Others of you are want to know about the Leadership Scholars Program, but are also still making their decision and deciding whether Salve is going to be the right place for you. So while we will be talking about the Leadership Scholars Program tonight, when we get to the time of questions and answers, if we veer off a little bit, you have other questions about the university, certainly we are here to assist you with that. But tonight's program is really focused on the Leadership Scholars Program. And it's really, first, I just want to say that for each of you that is here this evening, you should consider it quite an honor to have been invited to participate in this program. This is a select program for the university, and ultimately there will be about 80 members of the incoming freshman class that will be participating in this program. So this is not an open program to all students at the university. This has been a selection process that has been based on both your academic ability as well as other facets to your resume that you bring to the table. Many of you are athletes or leaders in clubs or organizations, or have shown a strong commitment to community service, or have some of you even are working pretty much full time, and we find that very impressive as an admissions committee. And so this program is really a recognition that Salve attracts some really outstanding potential future leaders. And as we as a university think about leadership as a concept, one of the things that we try to do is to present opportunities for students to understand leadership through the lens of the critical concerns of mercy. Because what we believe as an institution, and it's actually here on the screen from our university vision statement, that the world desperately needs a new kind of leadership, one predicated on a willingness of leaders to turn empathy into action. And I really love that phrase, that idea of empathy leading to action. And today's world demands leaders that are capable of not only providing the structural and the command hierarchical type of skills associated with leadership, but also the willingness to be able to be ethical and moral guides to those around them, both in their community as well as in ultimately their place of work. And so this program has been developed specifically to help our strongest potential leaders learn skills and tools that will allow you to facilitate others, that will allow you to bring others together through this mercy lens to lead in a new way, to lead in a way that's more facilitative and to lead in a way that's transformational. And so we're very excited to talk to you more about this program and share with you why we think that Salve is a great choice for you, in part because you have the opportunity to participate in this program. So with me tonight is Ariana Bissett. Ariana is an assistant director in our Division of Student Affairs on campus, and she's the assistant director for student engagement. And she is, along with me, are sort of the brains behind this program, and two of the people that you'll see a lot during your 4 years at the university. So Ariana, do you want to say hello and introduce yourself?
Yes, hi, hello. I'm very excited to meet you all. Like Jim said, my name is Ariana Bissett. I'm the Assistant Director for the Office of Student Engagement. So when you come to campus, you'll find me working with orientation, student leadership, student organizations, student leaders, programming, events, anything that's happening on campus. Our office is often affiliated with it, so there is a lot to look forward to. And I am very excited about the Leadership Scholars Program and potentially working with all of you. We're going to go over some very exciting components and some very exciting things to look forward to regarding the program, which we will cover shortly.
Thanks, Ariana. And certainly to folks that have come into the room, maybe in the last couple of minutes, maybe you missed the beginning or whatever, we are recording this session. So we will push it out to you later as well if you want to watch it again, or if you want to show it to members of your family so that you have all the information that's available. If you have questions throughout the program, please pose them to us in the chat box. We want to answer as many of your questions as we can tonight. And know that you can also email us questions after the fact, and we'll share our contact with information with you at the end of the program. But for now, I'm going to turn things back over to Ariana, and she's going to give you an introduction to the program and how it's going to work.
So I want to touch big picture. One of the most, I think, distinguishable, unique parts of the Leadership Scholars Program that you're not going to find elsewhere is that this program is designed to be with you the moment you step foot on campus to the moment you graduate. You're not going to find a 4-year program that's designed to develop you. You'll see on the second bullet point, develop skills throughout your leadership journey from freshman to senior year. It really is a journey. You will enter as a cohort. If all 48 of you were on a cohort, you would serve all 4 years on the program together. And there's some really unique opportunities to build relationships, networking. A big part of this program is going to focus on service in the local community here in Newport, Rhode Island, and even in greater Rhode Island, if possible. We have an amazing relationship between Salve and the local community, and there's so many different ways for you all to get involved. We really want to emphasize networking. You're going to be meeting senior university leadership, prominent alumni that have found a lot of success after their time here at Salve Regina and are exemplary models of someone who has really been a leader in their community. And we want to bring them back to campus to share what they have done and what they have learned and their time at Salve with all of you and impart that wisdom and that knowledge. So this is going to mean exclusive speakers and seminars and something we're calling signature key events, which includes presidential luncheons with the university president or leadership and action seminars. Jim's kind of mentioned this before, but we're looking for doers. We want people who are interested in making a splash on campus and wanting to get their hands dirty with creating change and impact in whatever community, whatever kind of focus you're interested in. We want to help you find ways to make that impact. Throughout those 4 years, you're going to have professional and career development. We're going to make sure that not only are you being a leader, learning how to be a leader, but that you're going to be a leader in the workforce as well. And so how can you translate everything you do here at campus to the job for once you graduate? We know that's why you're going to Salve, hopefully, to get an education and to become a professional. And so we want to help at the same time in that regard. I know something a lot of you are very interested in, even before you get here, is being a leader, a campus leader. This can include positions like a resident advisor, orientation leader, ambassador, service plunge. So when you are in the Leadership Scholars Program, you get access to these roles. And what I mean by that is prioritization in the application process. The campus is going to know that you're ready, that you have the skills and that you're being trained to do these positions on campus. And so I think that is a unique feature of this program. And I just want to end this slide with mentorship. This program is going to get you into connections with alumni, with other prominent leaders on campus to create mentorship opportunities and also opportunities for you to become a mentor one day. Because again, like I said earlier, this is 4 years. And so not only are you going to be mentored, but hopefully you're going to make an impact on someone else one day. But 4 years is a long time from now, so let's focus on the first one. And so you're going to come in a cohort. Another really unique part of Salve Regina is the first year transitions course. So this is part of your first year experience. In the fall semester, all first year students take an FYT course. This is going to basically be, how do you succeed at college? How do you navigate the resources here at campus? Who are you? How are you going to grow? What are your goals? But if you are part of the Leadership Scholars Program, you will have an opportunity to be in a leadership-focused FYT course. There is no other course like that here at Salve. So you would have a very different experience compared to other students. And the goal is to not just learn about those resources, but take it to the next level when it comes to those leadership topics and really dive deep because we know you are capable of taking on that challenge. Like I said before, lots of signature events and activities. I'm just going to jump down really quick. You see monthly meetings. That might not seem a lot, but what you don't see on the slide is, yes, we're going to meet monthly, but there's going to be an expectation of attending other events, having assignments, participating in readings together with your cohort, participating in the activities that are campus-wide, because we know you're leaders and we want to ensure that you are a part of the entire campus and really learning about Salve and taking in all the opportunities of Salve. I'm sure many of you are interested in what the leadership workshops and trainings could entail. And really your first year, we're going to focus on building who you are as a leader, your identity, and giving you the necessary skills to take on different leadership opportunities at Salve. So this could be anything from, how to be a facilitator, like we've really emphasized before, how to use your strengths to be an effective leader, organizational leadership, system mapping, diversity and equity and inclusion training. We're really focused on figuring out who you are and how you're going to use it so that for your second year, you're ready to launch into different positions on campus, whether that's a student organization or with a campus office, whatever that may be, that's up to you to decide, but the first year is getting you ready for that.
And I just want to add here, Ariana mentioned the importance of these leadership trainings of providing you practical skills that will be transferable to life after college. This isn't about just being a leader on campus. Certainly we expect the Leadership Scholars group will be our leaders on campus, but this is about preparing you for enacting leadership skills when you graduate and when you go out into the greater world. So, Ariana mentioned things like systems mapping. Systems mapping is a very advanced form of understanding how organizations work and how to make positive change in organizations through facilitative leadership. This is something that many professionals are exposed to in professional development opportunities, sometimes 20, 30 years into their career. And so the opportunity that you have to receive these types of trainings on the undergraduate level is going to give you such a major head start when you graduate from Salve and you go out into your first job or to your first career, because you're going to be able to tell that organization, not only am I bringing the liberal arts skill sets and other experiences that come with your degree, but also some really strong practical skills that organizations are desperate for. And so what we want to be able to do is give members of this program and graduates of this program a huge leg up on the competition in preparing for the transition from undergraduate to the workforce.
Yes. And just one more thing to add is that another unique feature is the retreats. And so we would be planning fall and spring retreats, which would be intensive trainings with just your cohort, facilitated somewhere off campus, most likely. So a lot to look forward to in that first year. Many of you probably applied to Salve because you were drawn to the Mercy mission. I know that is something that stands out to me about working at the institution. And one of the things I love most about our students is that they really take the Mercy mission to heart and let it guide their actions. And the Leadership Scholars Program is no different. And so we will be tackling the critical concerns of the Sisters of Mercy, which faces anti-racism, immigration, earth, women, nonviolence. We're going to tackle questions like, what are the critical concerns facing our communities today? How are you going to respond to the needs of our community? And what does it mean to be Mercy educated? So a lot of big questions, a lot of big problems to tackle together that we're going to be doing through discussions, through guest speakers, through case studies, whatever it may be. But this will be the root of a lot of our learning.
And I think as we reflect on the problems of today's world and today's society, that I read in many of your essays about wanting to be working for positive change in the world and wanting to be the people that fix some of the problems that today's society has. The critical concerns of the Sisters of Mercy directly respond to the major challenges of today's society. And so I think Salve Regina University is uniquely positioned in today's world at this time in history to be responding to what today's world desperately needs in their leaders. And so you're going to be well prepared for not only the tools of leadership, but also a perspective and a lens on the world and how it works and why it works that it does, that others won't have because they won't necessarily be exposed to these types of priorities in their educational experience.
So to kind of summarize everything we have just gone through, that first one is really important to me. Know and apply. You at the end of this program, you will know to and apply the 5 themes of mercy-inspired leadership. I think that really is the underlying theme here, which focuses on social change, like the critical concerns of mercy, service, calling, which is like your purpose, vocation, your profession, and teamwork. And which is why the cohort model is so essential to the success of this program. You're going to build collaborative relationships within yourselves, but within the institution. I mean, we're talking about monthly presidential luncheons, etiquette dinners with alumni. You're going to be networking and also creating relationships with those on campus that can help create change. You're going to be serving your local community, learning how to engage in civil dialogue, tackling hard, difficult discussions, becoming career ready, like that professional element that we have been talking about. So whatever your major is, whatever your graduation goals may be, this program will give you skill sets. We want you to value and participate in civic engagement. And lastly, become empowered to create positive change on campus and our communities. And now we can take some questions.
So if you have questions, please place them in the chat box. We are looking forward to answering the questions that you have because we know people do have questions, either about the leadership program or if you have some generic questions about the university that maybe you haven't answered yet. We're happy to help with that as well.
And please note, I recently got married, so my email is different than my name, so don't email my name. It's ariana.mollers. Feel free to take a picture of the slide, and I'm happy to also answer your questions via email.
So here's a great question. Could these leadership opportunities pertain to politics and social justice groups? Absolutely. I think one of the strengths of Salve is both something we have on campus called the Pell Center for International Relations and Public Policy, named for Senator Claiborne Pell, who was someone that really in his service to the US in Congress reflected the critical concerns of mercy. And so I think it's telling that the Pell Center is named for him. The Pell Center has a lot of connections with DC and with the Rhode Island government. You'll actually very often see members of the Rhode Island congressional structure on campus. And so we intend that members of this leadership program will, in addition to some of the other speakers that will be part of the program, will have a contact with people like Senator Jack Reed and Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, who are both hold really considerable leadership positions within the U.S. Senate, as well as people in other political structures. So, and then in terms of social justice, Salve is all about social justice. Salve is a place that brings in social justice leaders regularly. Just this last, just about a little over a year ago, we had a really great evening on campus where we talked about social justice. We just had a day on Friday that was all about social justice, where we brought speakers to campus virtually right now. But it's an important part of the university and the experience. Let's see what else. Are the students involved in a leadership program housed together? No, there's not a housing set up specifically for leadership scholars, though certainly what we expect is the relationships that you're going to develop with your fellow leadership scholars in the first year will likely lead you to want to room with like-minded students in the second year. So while the first year is a more open room selection process, the second year and third years on campus, you're gonna have plenty of opportunity to live with other members of the Leadership Scholars Program. Sophia asks a really good question about what does cohort mean? Ariana, do you want to answer that question?
Yes, so cohort model means a group of people who move through an experience together. And so a cohort would be all of you, class of 2025, right? Entering together, and you would do each year of the leadership program together. You would all be, several of you would be in an FYT course together, then you would do the second year of the program together, the third, and you would finish together. And so it's about entering and finishing together as a group. And so you have a chance to develop really strong relationships within each other throughout those 4 years.
There's another question here about housing, a question about leadership scholars, students, and access to Walgreen. Certainly there's room in Walgreen if you want to live in Walgreen and you're leadership scholars. It's not a designated housing option that we have all leadership scholars in one place. But if you want to request Walgreen as your housing of choice, then your odds are fairly high. At the university, there's really only two major freshman housing places. So if you have a preference of one or the other, your chances of getting your first choice are pretty good. Question from Paulie about, will we only work within our cohorts, Ariana?
So you would have an opportunity to work with each other, but that mentorship piece that we mentioned earlier would be within other cohorts and other communities on campus. So that would be an opportunity to branch out from your own cohort.
Great question here. How does the LGBTQ community fit into the service model? The first thing I will say about that is I will refer to Salve's mission statement, which in its first line explicitly states that Salve Regina University is an institution that welcomes people of all backgrounds and all beliefs. We are a highly inclusive community, and we pride ourselves on that inclusivity. In terms of utilization of the Leadership Scholars Program and service, I'm going to defer this to Ariana.
Yeah, so one thing I would want to point out, because I see another question here, is what social justice groups can be found in Newport. I'm going to combine those two and address you both. For the LGBTQ plus community fitting into our service model, I would say there is an opportunity here within Salve to really be engaged in those topics and to plan events, to join the Alliance Club. We have over 60 plus organizations here on campus that are student led and have student leadership opportunities within them. For example, Alliance planned a Trans Day of Visibility tabling. They had an event just last week. These are kind of events that all students can help plan and be a participate with. Within campus, we have the Black Student Union, we have the Multicultural Student Club, we have a Latinx club, we have any kind of identity, there is a club. And if you see a gap on campus, guess what? You can create a community that you feel needs to be here on campus, and you can be a part of creating the club and the organization, receive funding, plan events, create programs, create visibility for that group here on campus. And so hopefully that helps. A lot of the service model will also be what interests you have. And we don't just want one type of service, like let's go do a cleanup for everyone. We want to see what issues and topics you're interested in and find opportunities for you that meet what you're interested in. Because again, at the end of the day, this is about developing you for the community you want to impact and change. And so there is a lot of opportunity to kind of design and customize your experience as well.
There's a question here about what type of leaders will you get to meet. It's going to be a variety. You're going to be in the freshman year, you're going to start by people within the campus community. So you'll be working with people like me and my fellow vice presidents. You're going to be working with people that are fellows within the Pell Center for International Relations and Public Policy, or people within the Mercy Center for Spiritual Life on campus. As you grow in the program throughout the course of 4 years, then we expand your exposure to political leaders and business leaders and alumni of the institution that are running organizations that are people like the founder of Flying Kites, which is runs orphanages in Africa, or people that are CEOs of pharmaceutical companies. Like, there's such a wide range of highly successful alumni of the university who are anxious to work with you, and so it's going to be a variety of leaders, and some of it, again, to Ariana's point, is going to be structured based on the things that you want. So as Ariana mentioned, in the first year is about reflecting on who you are as a leader and what your goals are. And then based on that information, we then can build out in your sophomore, junior, and senior year people that will fit what your goals are, so that you can be meeting the people that are most important to your values and to what your long-term visioning is. A lot of good questions here about sort of what cohorts mean and how big cohorts are. I'm going to let Ariana answer most of this question, but I'll defer back to sort of my opening comment that the overall cohort for a class is about 80 students. So it is a select cohort. It is not, anybody within the freshman class can be part of this. You had to be invited for this. Now, I will say, if you've been invited for this and you haven't filled out the application yet, there is still a little bit of time to do that because this is such a weird year. We extended the deadline until the 15th. So to those of you that got it on time, thank you. But those who may have missed the April 1st deadline, we are extending that deadline to April 15th to give you an opportunity to be considered.
We have a question about different leadership positions. I can answer that one. There is a wide range of leadership positions on campus. Again, I know you're going to be tired of hearing this, but it depends on what you're interested in. But some of the most very common sought out positions include resident advisor, orientation leader, and orientation leaders who you're going to meet when you start campus. Your resident advisor is an RA, a peer mentor, which is similar to being a teaching assistant for the first year transitions courses. If you are interested in service and that's your thing, there are service coordinators, plunge coordinators that help run and facilitate a lot of the service projects here in the local community. We have international leaders. We have leaders, over 60 plus clubs that all need leaders, whether that's executive board, president, vice president. So it really ranges. What we're just looking for is a requirement of in your second year is taking on a leadership role of your choosing. So it's really open.
Yeah, there's also some really unique opportunities that happen that really only happen at small schools. For example, when we do hiring for senior leaders on campus, it is typical for students to be involved in those search committees. When big decisions are being made. For example, there's a large task force on campus right now on equity and inclusion, and half the members of that task force are students that were selected and would be selected from the Leadership Scholars Program for those types of activities. Question here about service hours. Do they count towards your hours that are required towards graduation? Yes. Absolutely. Though chances are in this program, you're going to far exceed the hours that you need because you are the type of students that, and again, I refer back to many of your essays that I read, you're looking and you're hungering for service. And that's why you've chosen this program as an opportunity. And so it's our goal to give you as many opportunities to provide service to the university and the greater community as we can. I think I answered the question on application, but yes, just as a reminder, you may have been invited to the Leadership Scholars Program, but there is an application that you needed to fill out to actually formally be enrolled in the Leadership Scholars Program. So if you didn't do that yet, there's still time to do it. If you've lost the link for it, just email either me or the admissions office and we'll make sure we send the link. Great question here about study abroad. Will you be able to study abroad within the program? Absolutely. We really encourage study abroad at Salve. About 40% of our graduates every year do study abroad. And there are also some really specific study abroad opportunities, some short-term study abroad opportunities that will be attractive to members of this program, like going down to Costa Rica and doing some service there. So there's the Office of International Studies on campus handles study abroad, and there's many opportunities. Certainly there wasn't this year, but going forward, we'll be back to sending students all over the world, and there are over 200 different study abroad opportunities through Salve that you can pursue.
Ellie asked if you will still have time to participate in other activities if you do the LSP program. And I'm going to say yes, we want you to be involved, and we want to see you all across campus being involved, being a face of the institution. I think one part about leadership in college, especially from my own experiences, the different diverse involvements that you have make you a stronger leader. So I know this looks rigorous and everything we mentioned seems like a lot of time commitment, but we would work with you, and a lot of being involved in theater and other organizations, working, having a part-time job will overlap with the requirements that are going to be asked of you.
Yeah, and certainly looking at your resumes coming in, many of you are already contributing many hours to many different clubs and organizations on campus. You will be able, or in your current high school experience, you will be able to balance it. One of the big differences between high school and college is you actually have a lot more free time in college. It's surprising how much more free time you have, and from what I've seen of the type of students that you're going to want to fill up that free time with more than just sitting around and playing Mario Kart. And so this is going to be an opportunity for you to pursue something very meaningful, both for you personally, but also in terms of your long-term success and preparing you for long-term success. Any other questions? I think we covered everything that was put in the chat so far. Okay. Well, I'm going to just put the slide back up of our contact information, because we want you to contact us if you have additional questions or if there's other things that we can help you out with regarding this program. We're very excited that all of you have been invited to this program. Like I said, we've reviewed your applications. We know the type of people that you are. We know that Salve is the place where you are going to have an opportunity to really emphasize these facets of your personality that make you strong potential leaders. And I have no doubt that when you leave Salve, you are going to be the type of leaders that, as we said at the outset, will foster a new type of leadership in the world, and who will successfully work for, as our mission statement says, a world that is harmonious, just, and merciful. And so I'm so excited to see you on campus in the fall. Ariana is incredibly excited to be working with each and every one of you. And we certainly hope that you'll not only enroll at Salve, but you'll take full advantage of the Leadership Scholars Program, because it is a unique opportunity, and we have no doubt that you're going to be a great beneficiary of what we have to offer. Ariana, any last words as we adjourn?
No, I think you hit a lot of it. I'm very excited. There are so many opportunities to leave your mark here at Salve. And this is going to be a way to ensure that you do, and to make connections with others who are also striving for the same thing. And I think that's one of the best parts about attending the university. So sincerely hope to see you all in the fall.
So nice to have you all here tonight. So excited to get on with the world and away from the last year and start anew in the fall in Newport. Can't wait to see you all on campus, and go Seahawks. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Excuse me?
Hi, Paulie.
Oh, hi. I know you said to put your question in the chat, but I didn't really know how to word this right in the chat.
Okay.
If I could just have a second.
Yeah.
So, would you say this program would be good for like future internship possibilities, like to those connections?
Absolutely.
Oh, yes.
You know, a lot of internships through the university happen through our relationships, both with the community, but also with alumni.
Okay.
And so you're going to be exposed to a lot of those leaders earlier than other students would. And, you know, I often find that internships are a combination of working with the Career Development Office, but also working through networks.
Okay.
And so, you know, the program, one of the major focuses of the program is helping you understand how to expand your networks and how to capitalize on the networks that you've developed so that you can take those important professional steps.
Okay, awesome. And when it comes to learning about different social issues, would you say the program, is it like some weeks are like put towards like racism and others are put towards like homophobia and stuff, or is it kind of all cycled together?
Yeah, I would say different focuses, because we're going to bring in different experts on those different topics and hear their perspective and their experiences and their leadership through those topics. So definitely like highlighting different ones, but like the retreats are going to be a wonderful opportunity to focus on all of them, and really dive deep into each one. So you're not just getting one or two throughout the year, but really diving deep into them.
Okay,
I would
awesome.
add that some of that, frankly, is just inherent to Salve.
Yeah.
Because of the critical concerns, because of our concern as an institution of not only creating an inclusive community, but fostering a sense of understanding and welcoming and hospitality to people of all backgrounds and all experiences. You're going to see many opportunities both in the Leadership Scholars Program, but also outside the Leadership Scholars Program to expose to opportunities for deep conversation on these types of issues.
Okay, awesome. And by the way, my name is Paulie Buckles. It was nice meeting you both. Thank you for having me and taking the time to answer my questions. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
No
nice
problem.
to meet you,
Thanks for
Paulie.
being here, Paulie.
No problem. Thank you. Have a nice night.
Have a good night.
So I think that went well.